masterful technician and knowing all there is to know about computers, I have an amazing show for you tonight. Absolutely stunning. You're going to be my live human experiments for we're in the early stages of prepping a new style of podcast, and you guys are going to be my guinea pigs. We have a crypt update. There's a little Kickstarter information. We're going to talk about my new workflow. It's amazing. It's amazing. Just bear with us. And then we're going to talk about a book that's not written by me. It's going to be very fun. We're going to have a tweet of the week, Junkie Pets, Siglebrations, and Junkie Picks. And if we have time, we'll get to questions. Probably won't have questions.
Before we do any of that, though, I want to remind you, this past Saturday was the first Saturday of the month in October, except Steve was hanging out with me and a handful of friends in LA for the weekend. And so he didn't do the Junkie Party. That is moving to this Saturday. You can see it on the screen right now. This Saturday, October 8th. If you were a SIGLERfest attendee, that is also generally the weekend that we did SIGLERfest was this Indigenous Peoples Day weekend. So anyway, if you want to come by and hang out, we actually will not be there because we have plans with friends. Because I couldn't give up going to see Steve in LA with my other friends, and I can't give up this Saturday either.
All right. So we got that cooking, and we got that going for us, which is nice. Which is nice. We'll get to the other stuff later. So here's the new style. Here's what we're doing. We switch back over here. Here's how it works. One day a week, we're going to probably change the streaming day from Wednesday to probably Tuesday, even Monday. We're not sure at this point. And the goal is I'm going to, on Friday, only Fridays, I'm going to write for 4 hours, only 4 hours on this new story. And A and I have been kicking around some really cool new concepts to share with you all. We're not ready to share them yet, but we will. We'll get your feedback. So I'll write that. And then on the live stream, I will read it live. So you guys, whoever's watching the live stream, will get the first episode before anyone else does. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take that video. That's going to go over to Allie Press, who does a lot of work for us here at Empty Set. And she's going to edit the video, edit all the crappy parts where I'm stumbling. So if I stumble, do a retake, she'll cut all that out. We'll wind up with video that we're going to be able to put on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever. And then she will take that finished story video, and then that goes over to Steve the Iceberg, Ricky Berg. She'll either send the audio of that or he'll strip out the audio, and then he will go through his normal audio production and jazz it up, and then that same story is what will be in the feed. What this means is we are going back to the old days of Earth Core and Ancestor and Infection, which is you're only going to be able to get the story one place. You're either going to have to watch it on a live stream, watch the live stream rebroadcast, or it will be in your podcast feed on Sunday. We've sort of forgotten how bonkers that makes all of you people. We forgot. We're going to do it.
A couple things that are important to note here. One, we had several questions. When we brought this up, we weren't on SIGLERinPLACE last week, but we were the week before. And when we brought this up, we got a handful of emails saying like, but what does this do to the crypt production and all that other stuff? And I will say that this won't be the first time since we formed a business together where Scott worked on 2 different properties. And this is the successful model that we found. He works on a primary, which will be the crypt, 4 days a week, or 5 days a week in the morning for 4 hours. And then on Friday, he will write this other property. And we've done that to get some of the short story collections out and things like that. So we're going to try that. That's number 1. And number 2, if you are old enough to have been the original Nocturnal podcast, which was somewhere around 2009, 8, 9-ish. This was how he did that. He wrote during the week, recorded on Saturday, put it out on Sunday. That it's an interesting and ends up in an interesting place. But this is a decade later, so hopefully will be a little bit smoother because the system that we set up seems like it's going to be great as long as it works.
And when we get to, we're going to be bouncing these story ideas off of you guys in the live stream space. This is the only place we're going to discuss it. If you tune in for the live stream, you get to be part of deciding what we do next. The necessary ingredient for this will not be my typical thriller style, very detailed outline where everything's figured out before I start page 1. I know what happens on page 450. I know how the book ends. This is going to be more George R. R. Martin style in that, not necessarily fantasy, although that's on the table, in that it's organic. The story will grow as we go, And if I'm reading and, I stumble onto a character that you guys are just bug nuts crazy over, or there's a situation that's just driving you bonkers, we'll be able to double down on that and go with it. So the 2 stories we're working on right now are kind of setting based. They have a particular locale with a lot of people in that locale. And we'll tell you more as we get near it, but the idea will be we'll gradually populate, let's say it's a small town. We'll be gradually populating this small town with people and businesses and organizations and murderers and thieves and serial killers and, skinners and all the usual stuff you get in a small town. I mean, at least that's what Sheboygan was like. I don't know where you're from New York, right?
Yeah, I think that was where my hometown was like that. Yours, I went to your hometown this summer, and no, it was not like that.
Yeah, Daniel Baker, correct. It's it's George R. R. Martin style, so it will never end. This this story will never end. And the idea is, I've been talking to the people over at We're Alive, that great podcast. I'm going to come up with the idea. We're going to do a loose outline. Probably, I'm guessing this will be 12 to 15 to 20 episodes, somewhere in there. Do a loose outline, write to that outline, but that outline allows enough flexibility for, to introduce new things. And then the end of the outline, we package up all that audio and we put it up on Audible. So that's our plan. Hope you guys are going to be with us and dig it.
And who knows, we might end up with a Gardner type story that needs a little refurbishing and refreshment before we make it a print book. Who knows? Because that was true of Nocturnal.
It's going to be more Stephen King-ish, Neil Gaiman-ish. It's not going to be Tom Clancy-ish or Michael Crichton-ish, because those require an enormous amount of research and detail. And that's where we're going. Generally, in the chat room said, small town in Michigan or Indiana, same difference. I said to A last night, or a small town in Iowa, it's all the same thing. She goes, no, not like Michigan at all. So any Iowans out there, let me know what you think.
I might have been running at the mouth because I have visited all 50 states. Maybe I was doing that. It's hard to tell. Sometimes I'm sassy.
So there have been a few podcasts that are extremely successful. We're Alive, of course, is a benchmark. I couldn't count the Leviathan Chronicles. That's much more thought out ahead of time. They write the whole season. But the podcasts that are dominating in the fiction space right now are short horror stories. And they sometimes are interconnected, sometimes they're not. So we're trying to kind of...
Not Iowa. Iowa is different than the Midwest.
Oh, Jen Lee's is not Iowa. Sheepdogs is not Iowa. Therefore, it will be a small town in Michigan or Indiana, possibly.
Several of you have mentioned this lovely necklace. My friends Marie and Stephen gave it to me for my birthday this year, and I love it. It's really cool.
It's your birthday. Gonna party.
Because it's my birthday. I screw that up every time.
It has the wrong lyrics to that song. And every time she sings it, I just fall more in love with her. I'm like, you're just doing that to me on purpose. So, yeah. All right. So here's the situation. So I have to apologize. We sold you a false bill of goods, which of course my friends will know happens quite a bit. We told you we were going to read the first monster story I ever wrote, tentacles, and more tentacles. But we couldn't find tentacles and more tentacles. We don't know where it is. It is an artifact central to the foundations of Siglerism, and without this holy relic, we are not sure how things will go on. We will find it. Oh, we will find it. But for now,
we haven't left this. We have only left this house like a handful of times in 3 years. It's got to be in there somewhere.
I want you to know, I started looking. I prepared early for this, so I started looking as early as 3 o'clock. And I assumed it would be somewhere, and it was not.
To be fair, remember I just mentioned I might have been sassy last night. I also were like, you don't need to look for it tonight. It's in that bookshelf. It's in that bookshelf.
Yes.
It was, narrator, it was not in that bookshelf.
We had a couple of edibles last night, and I'm like, you know what? We should find that story. And she's like, I got to find it right over there. Come over and sit down. I'm like, I'll come sit down with you. That sounds great. And I get this morning, I'm like, oh, baby, this ain't here. This ain't here.
Didn't hit right.
Yeah, Nico's going to be Indiana Jones. And Nicholas, you guys are killing the chat room. I love it. Very nice. Who's in Guatemala now? Beth?
The Copenhagen.
Sweet. Yeah. You guys rock. Okay, could you hand me that Scotch doll?
I can.
And then
we do.
With all due respect, darling.
Get the fuck out.
GTFO. It's just me and the Junkies, baby. Thank you.
I'm going to go downstairs and, I got a new computer this week, so I'm going to go downstairs to my old computer and join you guys in the chat room.
Okay, sounds good. And the reason we're doing this is because the goal is to have finished audio. So we need to control all the sound in the room. Probably going to have to use a different microphone, but that we'll confer with Steve the Iceberg, Ricky Berg, an excellent audio engineer. We will confer with him on that. And we're going to figure it out. We got a couple months to figure this out. So the story I'm going to read for you today, ladies and gents, is one I did way back when in 2012 at Balticon. And this one is called Chocolate Zombie. So we did this for astronomer Pamela Gay, who ran a panel, and we all had to write a story. I really can't remember the specifics of it whatsoever. All I know is Pamela's phenomenal, brilliant, wonderful human being. So she said, will you be on a panel? And I said, anything you want, man. Got you covered. So I'm just going to read the story. The story is 4.5 pages. And this is where we will begin our human experimentation. At some point, hopefully you will hear this very story in the podcast feed. We'll just slip it in, slide it in, slither it in, right along with the rookie feed. So while I read, I'm not looking at your comments, but please chat away and do your thing. So here we go with Chocolate Zombie. Got to hit record. Boom. It wasn't all bad. At least the zombies didn't like chocolate. What they did like was meat. And there wasn't a lot of meat on the station. Not unless Dave counted himself as meat, which the zombies seemed inclined to do, and Dave most certainly did not. I assure you, I am not meat, Dave said. On the monitor, Lizzie sneered. Now, Dave, you know that's not true. You are very much meat. And, if I may be so bold, you look really delicious. We all think so. Dave cleared his throat. Lizzie seems so normal. Well, kind of. She hadn't slept in 3 days, by his count, and that's what caused the dark circles under eyes that constantly flicked left and right, eyes that never focused on one thing for more than a half second. That's also what caused the limp hair, the shaking hands, and that ragged respiration. The paranoia? Lizzie had never really trusted anyone before, but now it was on another level. The dried flecks of blood on her chin? That was not caused by insomnia. That was caused by Pavel. Dave was going to miss Pavel. Dave had always told Pavel to lose weight. Pavel should have listened. And while he was at it, maybe got on the goddamn treadmill once in a while. Pavel's favorite joke had been, you don't have to be fast to outrun a zombie, you just have to be faster than the guy next to you. The irony? Dave had turned out to be faster than Pavel. Go figure. Lizzie, you guys have got to stop eating the paste, Dave said. You would say that, Lizzie said. You want us to starve. I don't want you to starve. Then come out of the lab and feed us, Dave. She and the others would eat him. There was no doubt about that anymore. He'd watched the Pavel recording 15 times already. Every time he deluded himself into thinking this wasn't happening, that the crew members he'd traveled with for 7 years weren't killing and eating each other, that the woman he'd met in training and proposed to on this very trip wasn't looking at him right now like he was a pork chop, he watched the Pavel recording. Pavel hadn't gone quietly. Or quickly, for that matter. Lizzie was a doctor. And so were Paulo and Ngebe. And as such, they avoided Pavel's vital organs for days. Dave could have rationalized what they did, maybe, if they had used anesthesia. But they didn't. They also could have cut Pavel's vocal cords, done something to stop the screaming, the crying, the begging. But they hadn't done that either. He didn't know who these people were anymore. Just 3 months ago, they'd been the brightest of the brightest, the best of the best, some of the top young scientists the world had to offer. An 8-year trip to the outer arm of NGC 2481 to set up a base where humanity would eventually explore the outer rim of a black hole. 8 years out, 10 years on, 8 years back. Their youth, most of their adult life given to the project, given to humanity, given to history. Those that lived would return to Earth in their 50s or 60s, and they had all agreed on one thing. The sacrifice was worth every minute, every second. You're not going to get me, Lizzie, Dave said. We can fix this. We can work together. Find something else for you to eat. There is nothing else, Lizzie said. You ate all the Bacon Buddy bars, Dave. He hadn't eaten them all. Not yet, but there weren't many left. Half a bar for breakfast, half for dinner, and he had 5 bars left. Algae paste still flowed from every faucet on the ship, and even the flavorator still worked. He could have had algae that tasted like cheese, beef, chicken, apples, oranges, and a dozen other taste sensations. Trouble was, since they'd gone into orbit at XV-284, the algae had changed. It made Dave puke. If he'd think chicken-flavored algae tastes peculiar going down, he now knew it tasted far better than when it came back up. I'm out of Bacon Buddy bars, Dave said. You're a liar, Lizzie said. You always were a liar, Dave. And you think I don't know about you and Carmen in the fuel generator room? Maybe we can focus on the fact that you want to kill and eat me, then handle our relationship issues later? Lizzie smiled. You've got that out of order, lover. It's eat you and then kill you. Eventually. Dave closed his eyes, but he couldn't get rid of the vision of an armless, legless, still twitching Pavel. He could very well have been part of the Pavel dinner party if he hadn't been allergic to whatever genetic mutation had occurred in the spirulina algae. See, if I snap my fingers like that, that's going to get cut out. Sorry to break the fourth wall, but this is how it works. He could have very well been part of the Pavel dinner party if he hadn't been allergic to whatever genetic mutation had occurred in the spirulina algae that made up 90% of the station's food supply. The Bacon Buddy bars? Those were supposed to be treats. Each crew member got one a week. Chocolate, a treat, but mission planners hadn't wasted weight on empty calories. 12 ounces of salted bacon, wrapped in seaweed, topped by 1 layer of corn cake, a second layer of concentrated fruit, the whole thing coated in chocolate and topped with ground almonds and walnuts. He was still alive because of candy bars. He couldn't eat the station's primary food source, and that was the only reason he wasn't a paranoid insomniac looking for a human snack. The others ate the algae. That made them want to eat people who didn't eat the algae. And Dave was the only one left. I'm not meat, Lizzie. You already said that, Dave. I'm not. We can fix this. She smiled and shook her head. There were red smears on her teeth. Her gums were bleeding. There's nothing to fix, you cheating bastard. Unless I can reprogram the flavorators to make me some bread, then I'll fix a sandwich with you in it. Dave's hand moved of its own accord, reached out and slapped the disconnect button. Lizzie's horrific face blinked out. Dave stared at the control panel, listened to his own ragged breathing. There was no rescue. No one could come get him. There was no place to run. They wanted him dead, and that left him with only 2 choices. Cure them all, or kill them, one by one. That is your story, bitches. There we go. So a little bit of an experiment there. Let me switch over to the other camera so I can see the chat. Hey, like the party. No, it's very complicated. I'll explain it a little bit later after everything else we do. That was not part of the crypt. That was a more fun thing. Come on up, baby girl. Getting the AK back in here. So it started out like House of Fire. I haven't read it, haven't gone over it. That was a cold read. So I'll probably do like a warm-up read and then get into it. But of course, whenever you're reading anything, you don't hear this in the audiobooks. But there are always mistakes and retakes and flubs. And that's what people like Steve Rickyberg take care of. They go through and they fix all that up. So it all sounds super polished, super good. Great. I'm glad you guys liked it. That's very fun. So that's the general approach to what we're going to do. So now I will work. Oh, we got to stop recording. Bang. So now we'll work with Ali Press and Steve Rickyberg, and we will see how that goes. I'm going to guess there'll be at least 2 more test reads. So hopefully we have everything flowing, real well by the time things go on. So how we kept a lot of people. That was it. That's the big thing we want to share with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. Were you watching the chat room? Were people digging it?
Yeah.
People digging it? Okay, good. Let's move on, ladies and gentlemen, now that we have told you all of that stuff. We have the Junkies meetup. We talked about that. Don't forget the newsletter. Sign up for the newsletter, scottsligler.com/newsletter. Super easy. And then sign up for the text stream at SIG-TEXT to 855-955-5095. Eventually, when we launch a new site, everyone who signed up for that's going to get a big fat 10% coupon off for all of our awesome new merch. So that's very good. Now we move on to some awesome news, some kick-ass news. Oh, before the kick-ass news, no, we're at the kick-ass news. Sorry, here we go. Let's go to books. Dun, 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 dun,
You
dun, dun, dun.
guys!
Wait, not yet. We gotta roll into this. Shit. Damn it. Hold on.
Akil, this was a short story he wrote. This was the Goddamn Cookies. Is that the title of it?
No, this was Chocolate Zombies.
Chocolate Zombies. Okay.
I have lost. Keep talking.
But I'm not sure if that short story has been in a short story collection as yet. I don't think so. There you go.
Let's see if we got that worked. Good enough. We'll go with that.
Yeah.
So over at scottsligler.com, of course, we're on the rookie adult version, episode 19. There are 10 episodes left, 10 or 11, somewhere in that ballpark. It should finish up in the last week of November, my birthday. And then we'll have a Q&A episode because those are so fun.
Like it's your
Like
birthday.
it's your birthday. We're going to party like it's your birthday. And then we're going to roll into the new podcast. But also, I've got to give you people a big old fat thank you very much. I called up Mount Fitzroy to see how we're doing on the review count. We are 3,914 reviews, closing in on 4,000, which is a magic number. When that happens, all of you will feel a tingling sensation in your privates. Science, it's going to be awesome.
None of that is science.
But what I was blown away by and so freaking touched by is 2 weeks ago, we asked you, hey man, if you've read this, go give it a review. If you haven't given it a review, why don't you go over and please mark helpful all of the reviews that are 5 stars, because we've got some people who didn't like the book and have created a whole campaign to try and knock it down.
All the cursing.
So people who did not like this book the people who do not like my books do not like them an enormous amount, to the point where they literally want to campaign to knock down the reviews. I had one guy on Reddit who came on Reddit to talk about phalanx, and he said, I don't normally do this, but it is now my mission to prevent anyone else from reading a Scott Sigler book ever. If I prevent one person from doing this, then I know my life will have meaning. I'm like, shit, Jesus Christ, man, that's crazy. But what I want to thank you guys for is now when you go here, and this is awesome, like 4,000 reviews, it's averaging 4.8 stars. But now if you look at the ones that come up under most helpful, they are the 5 stars. And this matters because when new people who don't know who I am come to this page, and some people scroll down to look at the first 2 or 3 reviews, if they see these just very bad, hateful reviews, they move on and spend their credit or spend their money somewhere else.
Right. I mean,
which is fine.
Yeah. But there's also this. We talk about this in Sigler Junkies on Facebook every now and again. Somebody will come in and be like, I've read everything that Scott has written. I've read every Helldiver story. I've read every Jonathan Mayberry story. What else is out there? A lot of times people will talk about who their favorite readers and narrators are, and that is certainly true for our friend Ray Porter, who reads these books. So a lot of people will come, and I do this on Audible, and I'm sure some of you do too. I will go to Audible and I'll click on Ray's name, not Scott's name, because I've already read this book, but I want to see what else I can hear him read. And I've read quite a lot of books that way, and so that really helps bring in people who know they like Ray's style but don't know as much about Scott. This is the thing that helps them do that. So thank you so much from the both of us.
So I'll say it one more time. I mean, you guys made my day. I came in here just to see how things were going, and because of what you did the past couple of weeks, it's awesome. Like all of the top. Are we on? Let me see if I'm on most recent. No, most helpful.
Yeah.
So this is a tiny thing you can do with your time that benefits us enormously, and I am touched, and I say thank you very much. I appreciate that. Earthcore could probably use the same kind of love. Earthcore is now well over 12,000
Thousands
reviews.
reviews. Thank you guys so much.
And then the same thing here. We got, this would be a good place to go visit if you want to, and then help up the ones, because the people who didn't like it really did not like it. So if you're an Audible customer, go swing on over there. And the thing that's fascinating is, if you like a review, you leave a review, you maybe click helpful on one other review, fine. If you don't like a review, what these people do is go through every review they don't like and click helpful on all of them. So the most helpful reviews on Earthcore, this is nice, got this one, and then the rest of them, you can't, and you don't report it, don't do anything like that. Just click helpful on the good ones, and that helps us enormously. Appreciate it very much.
Yep.
But we have other news today.
So are we going to do this first one first? So the last one? No,
this
that one. Do that one, so that we do the other one. Yeah.
Yeah. Hold on, but I gotta go. I set up a different thing for this. No, let's do this one.
Okay.
While we're still in books, ladies and gentlemen,
Guys.
this book's not written by me. I wish it was. It'd probably have a different ending if it had been written by me. The Puppy in the Red Checkered Coat Meets Santa, coming out yesterday, October 2022, written by none other than Rob Otto and Amy Lamphere. Amy Murphy. Sorry, I'm out of touch there. This, you guys, Rob Otto and his friend have written The Puppy in the Red Checkered Coat Meets Santa, written by Amy Murphy and Rob Otto, illustrated by Diana Jacob. This is awesome. If you've got kids, buy it for. I haven't seen it yet, but I assume if you've got kids, just buy it for them.
Today was the first day you could order it, so we ordered our copies today. But it is, Rob can probably give you more information. This is apparently based, I wouldn't say autobiographical, but the puppy in the red checkered coat, is based on Amy and Rob had a dog at one time called Oscar, I think. And Oscar the puppy.
Yeah.
And this is sort of based on his experience or their experience with Oscar. I'm so proud of you, Rob. I'm so happy. I can't wait to get my own copy. And I saw you answer some questions for other people. I know that this is print on demand. So couple things. It'll take a couple weeks to get, probably, and it will not be able to be signed before it arrives to you. I will get mine signed next summer during the next writing retreat. I'm super excited about it. But we'll figure. Obviously, you should get that if you have kids in your life and you want to share a sweet story. It's apparently a Christmas story.
So I now raise a toast.
Yay!
To Mr.
Congratulations,
49721 himself, Rob Otto. Congratulations. Cheers.
It's a huge deal. So you are a game designer. You are a fucking fantastic human being who works with foster kids in trouble in school.
Okay, that part is true. That part is true.
You're a screenwriter, and now you're a published Dead Tree writer too. Congratulations. I love you very much.
And there's a gaming book by Rob and I, and I'm not sure where it's at. I haven't asked Rob in a while, but we'll talk about that down the road. And Rob and I are now working on our screenplay again that we did on the retreat. And I have to tell you what, guys, can I be a little bit crass? No, I'm not going to be crass.
I mean, you already talked about tingling body nether regions.
I read the first 30 pages of this, and I'm like, you know what? If I was a screenplay groupie, I'd throw myself at both of us. I would. There you go. Take whatever you like. It's all good. This is so fantastic.
It's probably more weird than it is crass,
it's a little weird.
But okay.
It's a little weird. Not the normal reaction I have when I read the first 30 pages of anything that I've created, but it's a delight, and congratulations, Rob. That is awesome. And now we move on to one more little tiny bit of book news. What time we got here? We got to get rolling.
Sexy motherfucker. I did. You are a sexy motherfucker. That's
Rob is a sexy motherfucker. Now we got to go to here, and then sons of bitches.
I'll go get that link. We're just having a
There it is.
There it is.
Holy cats. Give me a second here.
So many things going on today.
There we go. This is I got invited to be in an anthology, and I probably wasn't paying attention because I was working. I didn't realize that the anthology was a Kickstarter anthology at the time, because we have a couple standard rules here at Empty Set. Number one, don't hold your candle over a flame. You're not in Lethal Weapon. That is rule number one.
Your hand over flame.
Yeah. What'd I say?
Candle over flame.
Don't hold your hand over a flame because you are not in Lethal Weapon. And no one's as cool as Gary Busey used to be. And rule number two, at least leave at least one light on, because the monsters will get you if you don't. And shoot, I forgot rule
Number 3 is we generally tend not to do Kickstarter.
No, the rule number 3 is if Jonathan Mayberry asks you to be in an anthology,
Absolutely.
you say yes. I have, like, I think it's up to like 7 or 8 now. He sends an email, will you be in this anthology? Yeah. Absolutely. So
he's a great, gracious human being, a terrific writer.
So this, I wasn't paying very close attention, and that's totally on me. But now they are trying to get to their 10 Gs to put this out. It's Double Trouble, an anthology of two-fisted team-ups. And my story
They're fictional team-ups.
My story will be,
Oddly
I've done something amiss here. Hold on, baby. Give me 1 second here. Right?
So I'll say this in the in-between.
Hey, there it is.
There you go.
There we go. I gotta fix this goddamn thing.
So he's going to work on that while I'm going to tell you this. Some of you who have been around a long time will know, because you did Kickstarters and you are writers or you are creators of some sort, that we offer free 30-second promos on our Sunday podcast. We still do. People don't do that so much anymore, but we still do. Can be 30 seconds or up to a minute, but it has to be for a product that already exists in the real world. And the reason that we do that is when Kickstarter first came out, we had a zillion people. I put the link in there, so maybe
that's great. That's great.
We had a zillion people who gave us a Kickstarter or something, gave us a promo for a Kickstarter, and then the project didn't get finished or fulfilled. Like they took, like the money got taken, but you guys have all like joined a Kickstarter or GoFundMe or something, or an Indiegogo where you end up, I guess not GoFundMe, where you end up never getting the product because the whole thing falls apart. We had that happen a couple times. And when it happened a couple times, maybe, oh, that's okay.
You keep talking. I'll get this.
We decided unless the product already existed in the real world, already out there as a podcast, already out there as a book, already out there as whatever, we wouldn't advertise it. And that is still true. And here we come with a Kickstarter for you guys.
Here we go.
We kind of screwed it up. We didn't know that it was going to be, like, he didn't, yeah.
Rob says, I've done something amiss here. How many times in your life could you say that? Nobody can count that high. So anyways, my story will be 2 of my favorites. These are public domain stories. So they have to have, it's the death of the author plus 75 years, or the death of the author and 75 years from the date the publication was published. I should know this and I don't. Anyways, my 2 are The Island of Dr. Moreau and the original stage musical Little Shop of Horrors. The original movie that had Jack Nicholson in it, that's old enough, so I can use that. I just can't use anything from the Rick Moranis version, but it's all the same stuff. So I'm going to have Dr. Moreau meeting them. So you know what? If you want, and my recommended price point for this, $15, get you the trade paperback. And if you were a collector of my stuff, you would probably do that anyways. But you should go take a look at this because fantastic writers. Jonathan Mayberry and Delilah Dawson, Kevin J. Anderson,
Jennifer Brody, who writes a lot for Disney and Vera Strange. She's her nom de plume is Vera Strange. If you have kids, you've probably read a Vera Strange book.
But some
Delilah Dawson.
absolutely wonderful creators in here, and they got bonuses and stretch goals and all the other stuff. But go check that out, and of course, read me Seymour, which I'm extremely proud of. Hold on, got to brush myself off on that one. Read me Seymour was sick. And you can go to, posted the link in the text, or you go to...
on Facebook.
On Facebook. You can go to bit.ly/Audrey Moreau. I would keep the caps in there, but if that doesn't work, email us info@emptyset, and we will be sure to send you the link. Okay, here we go. Back to Maine. Got through that. How much time we got? Okay, we got to haul balls, man.
Well, remember, we started 15 minutes late. So.
Oh, we did? Okay, we'll go 15 minutes late. That's fine.
Turn that off.
What? You don't like that fan?
It's whoop, whoop, whooping in my ear.
What? Oh, my goodness.
I know.
Whoop, whoop.
It's not good.
Jennifer. Now?
Jennifer, yes. Several people have commented on this gorgeous necklace. My friends Marie and Stephen gave it to me for my birthday. It's the whole rainbow. I love it very much. I have to wear it sparingly because I would wear it every single day.
A loves the jewelry. Loves her jewelry. All right, here we go. Crypt update. Good news, good news, good news. That's my Boss Hog impression. You like that?
Good news.
Wait, news. That was Boss Hog did good news. Good news, good news, good news.
He didn't say good news. He said
a lot of things. Boss Hog was very eloquent.
One of you guys know.
A proper mayor in a proper small town. That's what Boss Hog was, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he has rocked the Casbah, actually. 3 times.
I've rocked it 3 times. As many as
Rocked the Casbah.
3 times I've rocked it. And hopefully we'll rock it again if I can get my band if I have any time. But I don't have any time. The Crypt. The update is 77% done as of today.
Sir, that
yes.
seems like a huge jump in productivity.
What? Yes, it is. We will talk about that.
We've talked about you doing a 4-page day.
We're going to talk about that presently. No, it's right here. We're going to talk about it right here. So the reason this is because now I have a dedicated writing computer with nothing on it but Microsoft Word and a browser so I can look stuff up. My regular computer and my phone now, when I go to bed at night, they go into another room. When I get up, I can take the phone with me in the dog walk, but then the phone goes in this other room, and I come into my office in the morning.
Just here.
Usually like 8:30 to 9, somewhere in that ballpark. And the only thing in here is the computer with a story on it, and I get right into it. So I'm not getting distracted by text. I'm not getting distracted by news alerts. I'm not getting distracted by the Ukraine war or text from my boys or anything like that. Mm-hmm. All of that goes away, and it's proved to be famous.
Will you pull that curtain over a little bit because the glare from the light is there?
Got you.
So it's been such an interesting thing because I'm going to let you talk about that, but I'm going to talk. This past weekend, like I mentioned, was hanging out in LA with friends. The weekend before, we had to go up to LA for work, and we got to see another writer friend of ours, and they chatted for a while.
I think you can say his name.
Yeah, I think so. We went to see Pierce Brown. Well, we visited with Pierce Brown and had lunch with Pierce Brown at his house with his beautiful dog Io, and they started to talk about it. And Pierce, it turns out, has a lot of similar ongoing issues that Scott does. Not the technical ones, but some days I just work longer in the day. I write for 10 hours because the first few hours didn't go well. And then they started to talk about it, and Pierce brought up I leave my phone out of the room because any moment for a distraction, I'll take it if my writing's not going well. And they talked about it, and they got really excited. And Scott shared some things with Pierce, and then we implemented that just this week. Last week, I guess we got back and did that. But it's been remarkable. And so much so that we finally got a whole new computer. Because you remember we had technical issues, so we did end up getting a PC as well. But it literally has nothing on it except for his writing software.
Word. What up?
Yeah.
What up?
And eventually I think we'll add Scrivener to it because that's the draft writing.
Yeah, we'll have Scrivener, writer, and you're right, writer duet. Scrivener is what I make the novels with. Microsoft Word is what the editors send back, so I have to edit that. And then Writer Duet is the screenwriting software
that
I work with
Rob on. And what is a final something?
We don't use that.
Okay.
I used to use that, but I find Writer Duet to be vastly more superior.
And so for any of you, I know that Scott has talked about very freely that he has ADHD and as a creative person. We've heard from a lot of you that having ADHD is sort of a grace and a bane when you are a creative person. And I will say that this idea, intentionally having a window where he rate limits his access in a very real world hardware way. I know there are software programs like Freedom that
Freedom didn't work for me.
Freedom can work for him because he needs the internet to do his job. You know, in some cases, if your creativity, especially if you're a physical artist of any kind or a fine artist of any kind, that might work great. But for him, it didn't work because he had to have the internet to do some research. But this has been legitimately amazing.
It's been unreal. So we've got some stats for you here, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm all about the stats, because I didn't invent math, but I did perfect it. I went from 9.5 pages a day of going through edited material from Kayleen, my editor with Athon, to 16.5 pages a day. That is measured over 8 days so far, which is an improvement of 43%. 43%!
And here's the thing, you guys. And I'm literally saying this as a creative adjacent. If you've never heard me use that phrase before, most of you have. I believe I am a creative adjacent. I don't have creativity. I can cook, but that's a recipe and rules. And I don't believe I'm a creative, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I'm a creative adjacent. I can help him do his creative, windy, twisty job better because I don't have that, and I don't need it. I'm fine. That said, my life has been better since we got back from LA too, because his mood is different. His ability to focus and, we taxes. We have an extension on our taxes because our taxes are complicated because Amazon sends you 67,000 1099s. It's unimportant, but our taxes are due next week. I need him to focus on a few things because we have until the 15th of October, and it's been super easy because he's not trying to keep 85,000 things in his head, and he's not frustrated that he should have done a better job but didn't do, or whatever that is. It's been amazing. So I know some of the friends, some of you guys in the chat room, I know you're writers, I know you're artists, I know you're creatives in a lot of ways, podcasting. Consider this if you also are an easily distracted person or a person with ADHD. It has made our whole time on the USS empty set, or the PUV empty set, this week and last week, so much better.
Yeah.
So much better.
So, based on the current level of girthy turgid accomplishment and a 43% more girthy turgidity, I believe I'll be done with the editor's marks in 2 weeks. Then I have 3 military advisor manuscripts to go through. I have to go through all of them, plus Big John's continuity edit, which usually takes a little bit of time. Plus, I'm waiting for a medical review from Dr. Joe Albeitz, MD. And so I believe the whole manuscript might be done October 31st. My stretch goal is to have it done October 24th, because they and I got a little trip planned, a little something, we're gonna go have some fun somewhere. And if I can not work on that trip, if I can not work on the crypt on that trip, that'd be great. Because of course I'm gonna fucking work on the trip, because that's what I do.
That's who he is. Yeah. Jenna Leah said, Jenna Leah is watching on YouTube, but she said this, which is a perfect way to describe this. Her partner's name is Daryl, and her comment on YouTube was this: Daryl can attest that he's happier when I can be productive, for sure. And that's just it. I am a lot happier when he is happy with his productivity, when he is more productive, because for him, productivity is it. And productivity is absolutely the thing he chases. He's creative all the time. You've heard him say before, he never runs out of story ideas. He doesn't get writer's block. He gets like writer's overload. So being productive is important. That's a beautiful way to say it. Hey, Tori, nice to see you. We love you. We're so glad that Scott's home safe and sound. Yay!
Okay, let's go back to Maine. And now we got a couple more things to get through, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we got tweet of the week this week. It's kind of fun. Oh, God. What have I wrought?
I'll talk to you guys some more.
No. I got this. I don't know what happened, but some crazy shit happened. Go tweet it. Tweet number 1. Brandon Easton is a screenwriter, and I've met him a couple times. We've hung out. He tweeted this wonderful thing: people who worship celebrities have lower cognitive abilities, study suggests. So if you are, following everything the Kardashians do, for example, it is possible you have lower cognitive abilities than the average bear. I, of course, tweet, this is true unless, of course, you worship me. Are E-list celebrities exempt? I believe so. Worship away. And I thought E-list was down far enough in the alphabet. And then tweet number 2 came out. And from Clovar, you are clearly a K-list celebrity. The K means Krakens. Let's shucking go, Krakens! Let's shucking go! So awesome tweet, Clovar. Thank you very much.
You guys, my whole fam is in the chat room. My mom is in the chat room. My brother's in the chat
woo,
room.
Woo. All right. I got a Brolo and a Molo in the chat room. That's fantastic. So that is tweet. Empty set updates. Let's make it quick.
All right.
Updates. And what do we got today? Oh,
Squeaky McGee.
Look at that little
That's
pumpkin.
Here in the PUV empty set.
She is a nervous, cute puppy.
She is an apprehensive dog. That's what she's diagnosed as, an apprehensive pup, and she sure is.
Plus 10 experience, Rob, for the clever line. And then the big pup picture today is, of course, my Peanut all curled up back at the lair of doom.
Such a puppy. She's so young.
We had a chair with an orange blanket on her because, we have no children, so therefore we do stuff like this. Like, let's make the chair just for the dog. It'll be wonderful.
Also, to be fair, it was in the basement, half covered, like half underground, in the basement of a 115-year-old church. It was freezing all the time. So everything, that was actually a leather chair, or maybe a faux leather chair. So it was very cold. Anything shiny was very cold all the time. So that we put that blanket on for her. She's so young. She has never, ever, ever grown into that armpit hair. She still has naked armpits.
And then we got some of the
this is
y'all's
so cute.
pets.
Okay, so these are actually not technically Beth's pets. These are the Copenhavers sent in this, Beth Copenhaver sent in this series of dog photos. They are smart enough to be traveling and house sitting. And so I'm going to have you go through these I'm going to tell you when to move forward.
Okay,
but
you got it, baby.
Beth, you're in the chat room and you only named this dog for me. So this is Jagger holding a coconut in his mouth. He often brings home treats and rocks and coconuts and things for Beth and the big guy. It's a coconut. So that's Jagger. You'll see another dog at the end, but I don't know that dog's name. But let's go to the next photo. These are the cats. This is Ninja and Skizix. Oh, hey, Angela. Skizix is one of my favorite words to talk about. You guys have heard on Sigler in Place that he likes when I come wake him, I open this door right here because I sleep in the morning. And I have my hair is all, I'm so crazy. And he loves it. He says you walk in with no glasses and everything else. And I always say I have Skizix hair because I think it's like this. And that cat is named Skizix, which I love. And then we have this photo.
That's my Skizix impression. Want to hear it again? Okay, ready? Here we go. Next.
So they have been pet sitting long enough to have served a 1,000th meal for the pups. And they put Vienna sausages. Come on, look at how cute that is. As a celebration. As a celebration.
I think this might be a condemnation of my own personality. But of course, I don't want nothing to do with the dog food. I'm like, those sausages look pretty good.
Yeah, well, fair.
Sausages look pretty good. I mean, we should have some of that for dinner. All right, and the last one, ready?
And then the last one, this is the two pups. So I know one of those is named Jagger, but I don't know what the other one's name is. So
Fabuloso.
Christy. Jagger and Christy. And I don't know which is which, but they're adorable. And that is, of course, the beloved big guy is feeding them their celebratory dinner.
Great. Now we will move on to let's do some Junkies action. Ready, go, and it can boom, bang.
Okay, so these are
I don't know if these are in order. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I can wing it. So I'm so jealous. Although I did just get to hang out with Steve and a couple of other friends.
Shit.
Oh, we're moving fast.
It's not. Hold on.
Okay. So that first photo where he's going back, maybe to, or should I talk about this one? No, we're moving again.
Hold on. We'll talk about this one. Now it's off the loop.
Okay, so this is Nancy McClary. Nancy McClary is the librarian. Oh, there we go again.
Yeah, God damn you. You son of a bitch.
I'll just keep talking. So the librarian you saw, that's Nancy McClary. She works at the Swain School. Jason Reed sent this photo in. Jason Reed also helped her obtain
here's what I'm gonna do.
all of these.
Let me pop out of this domain, and when I come back, it should refresh.
Okay. We'll talk about this one.
God, you son of a bitch.
You guys know and love.
I'm going to program. You talk about this one because this one's friggin' up for crying out loud.
And it's also so awesome. You guys know and love the Lundys. They've been on this. I think Jen is in this chat room right now, and is such a beautiful, graceful, good, gentle human being. And she married the love of her life, who she always calls Daniel, which I love so much. These are their ongoing photos, but I want to read to you in case you're not familiar with the Lundy story, and we have a little bit of time. She wrote this email. She said, "Thank you, Scott and A, for providing the content and community that guided Dan and I together. Dan was living in Florida, and I was in Washington in 2014 and had our very first date at Siglerfest. I didn't know the author or what to expect, so I prayed and I figured I would at least have my first trip to Las Vegas. What I found was the most amazing group of people who made me feel welcome despite having zero Sigler knowledge. The kindness and open arms from A, Scott and the Junkies has left a permanent mark on my heart. Likewise, Jen, you are such a graceful, good person.
Dude,
I'm
she's
so proud to
she's so
be your
cool.
friend."
She's a Packers fan, and I still like her. I cannot even begin to express to you how astonishing that she must be as a person for that to happen. Junkie
So
picks?
they had their first date at Siglerfest, came back in 2015 with a surprise wedding proposal, and then in 2016, these gorgeous human beings planned their wedding so that Siglerfest would be part of their honeymoon.
Goddamn right.
And they're football fans of separate teams, but they support each other and all of us just exactly how you would hope to do that always. So she finishes by saying, "So we could honeymoon back at Siglerfest. Even though we can't all be together, please know how important you all are to our love story." We love you guys very much. Happy their anniversary is on the 30th of September, which is a little bit past, but congratulations and 1,000 years more.
This may take a little work, but you know what? So we're gonna. Give me a second, guys. If I get rid of
Tori, I totally
Lundy,
agree.
throw that out.
Okay, this is Nancy McCreary again.
Nancy McCreary.
Let's talk about that. Listen, we're working it out. We're working it out. This is a photo of Nancy McCleary, librarian at the Swain School in Allentown, Pennsylvania. She has been a great supporter of the GFL in our library. She has a knack for keeping all Swain students from preschool 3 through the 8th grade reading and discovering new worlds. And absolutely wonderful that you shared this. It's a teacher appreciation thing, and I love that we saw it. And if you guys have a library or kids with libraries in your school, we always offer a buy one, get one for our books for school libraries. Often the school has to send the email.
Didn't we do buy one, get two?
We did. Well, now we're doing buy one, get two in the pandemic for the paperback book. So if you have kids in school or you love a school or you love a school librarian, they can reach out to us. A lot of times a school has a specific form we have to fill out. All that's fine. Just put us in touch and
I don't know why it changed. Let's talk about who these people are.
These are, you guys know and love all these people. This is Kevin and Jennifer Mest in the back there, and of course the Vizcaras, Tom.
Hello, Tom.
John and Kim. I think I just did the thing from the Flo commercial. Who is that?
I don't
Progressive?
know. Yeah, I know Flo's Progressive, but
Flo and John Ham, who she calls Tom Ham. I think I just did
for
that.
my special customer, Tom Ham.
This is the John and Kim Vizcari in the front and Kevin and Jennifer Mest in the back. They had a vacation. The Vizcaras went to Kevin and Jennifer and had a terrific time. There is another, we'll get to another photo. So there's
No, fuck these programmers. I'm going to figure this shit out. I blame the programmers. It has nothing to do with me. Nothing to do with me whatsoever.
So that is them relaxing
you already talked about you. Do you need to go back to Nancy?
No, we're done with Nancy.
Which one is Yellow Branch Falls?
Yellow Branch Falls is the next one.
That's the one we want.
Yes. We'll do it, lads. Nancy McCleary
Nancy,
again.
You rock. Look at that. Awesome. Are you sure you talked enough about her having all the hardcovers? You talk about that?
Yeah, she does have all the hardcovers, almost assuredly thanks
God damn it. There it is.
There it is. That's Yellow something something. Yellow Branch Falls. John says here, Tom says here, there is a big scary spider over my head out of frame. He doesn't look terribly
Jason
happy.
Brown, you did not program this program. I'm not talking about all programmers. I'm talking about people who programmed this program that I can't seem to figure out.
Oh, my goodness.
It's great.
Oh, my goodness.
By it's great, I mean it's not great at all.
Do we have one more? We did thank goodness we've done all the photos for this week. We're going to work on it for next week.
Junkie Pets. Junkie SIGLErations.
So the one SIGLEration, the big SIGLEration I had, there were several. I've already mentioned them a couple times. First was Rob Otto's new book. I'm so proud of you, and I love you, and I'm really excited to receive it. I've already ordered my copies. And then second, probably more important, even to Rob Otto, is today our good friend and in-house graphic designer, Scott Pond,
you should have made me backstop you on this, dog. I don't know what the celebration is.
Had the internal port removed from his cancer treatment in 2018 because he's more than 4 years cancer free, and so that's the right thing to do. And I'm so grateful, and I love you guys so much, and it's exactly the outcome you want to see. And I know that your life has changed forever. But
that, ladies and gentlemen, that is how you fucking close a live stream right there. We got all the heartstrings stringing. We got all the emotions flying. My wife is crying. I should be a rapper.
I love you guys. I love the pond so much. You guys love the pond so much. And the world is so much better with Pondy still in it.
Sweetie, I did not update this. Did you update this business
I did.
as we close out?
Yes.
All right, let's close it up.
Whew. Yeah. So we will be back next Wednesday. We're back on Wednesday. I will remind you that this Saturday night is the Sigler Junkies happy hour thing that our good friend Steve Rickeberg hosts for like 7 hours. It starts at 4 p.m. this coming Saturday. And then we'll do the whole, if you need to send us anything, if you want to send us photos, we got a whole bunch of photos recently. Please send me your pets. Please send me your Halloween decorations, all that stuff. It'll be fun to share. And it'll be at, you just send it to info@emptyset.
Boom,
That'll
there
get
it
us.
is.
Yeah, info@empty. Oh, I got info@emptyset.com. Will help a lot.
I just had to score some brownie points in the chat room with your mom, just so you know what's up.
Okay.
Never miss a chance never miss a chance to let your spouse's parents know they did an amazing job. That is my theory of life. Actually, I have many theories of life. That is one of them. There's one of the cleaner ones, actually. Most of my other theories, we won't talk about it right now.
So we will do this
here?
next week on October 12th.
Oh.
It is National Gumbo Day. So we're going to be always eating on camera. And I'm going to make gumbo filet. I used to...
it makes a good gumbo, you guys.
I used to travel to New Orleans
lying.
for work before Katrina. Katrina actually washed away. I was in a different career at the time. I did clinical research. And Katrina actually washed away the doctor's office where I used to go once a month to work. The whole office was fine. I mean, the people were fine. The office was gone. So I didn't go back after Katrina, but I used to go once a month, and I did it for almost 2 years. And I would always eat at the Queen's Court, and I would always order the gumbo. And on one of my trips, it happened to be my birthday. And the chef actually let me go in the kitchen and watch. I didn't get to touch anything, but I got to watch a little bit. And then he sent me his recipe. So it's actually his recipe for gumbo that we'll have next week. And I've already emailed the Queen's Court to see if I can share that recipe, because they used to have it on their website, but I don't know if they still do. But anyhow, we'll do that. That's next Wednesday is National Gumbo Day. We'll be having gumbo.
Yes, and we're going to switch off right here. Until then, we want you to stay safe.
And we need you to stay smart.
And we want you to stay science.
And for the love of all things holy, we want you to stay informed.
Let's switch back over to here, Pumpkin. All right. To all of A's family in the chat room, thank you for hanging out. We love you. To all of our other family in the chat room, thank you. We love you.
Guys. We love
hanging
you.
all out. This is very fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the story. I'm going to get much better at this process as we go on, but we got to start somewhere. You got to start. You can't build a house from the roof down. You got to start with a foundation. Right, baby?
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to, maybe do a trial run of the new OBS platform.
You're sass.
But you know what you did?
You sass master.
You know what you did?
What?
You didn't lose your shit. You didn't pound the desk or say motherfucker one time. No. I did. $1. God damn it. Oh, $2. Hey, Mike Deschamps. It's nice to see you out there, too.
We still got a great crowd in the audience. You guys are all lovely. We'll be back next week, as A mentioned.
And Sean, we actually mixed up all the prompts. We did it reverse. So maybe we should do that from now on, and we'll get it all right.
Who knows, dude? Who knows? All I know is... this is a girthy live stream.
Yeah.
It's full of girthiness, and all of you are so swollen and girthy.
Swole.
You're swole up. Well, swollen. Yeah, you're swole. Y'all are swole. All right, guys, ready? You may all now kiss off into the sky. Baby, you ready?
I am.